If you've ever swayed to the mellow rhythm of Red Red Wine or felt the pulse of Kingston Town echo through your speakers, you've probably been touched by the soulful sound of UB40. But behind the laid-back beats and sunshine vibes lies a story of grit, rebellion, brotherhood, and a few ugly disputes. Let's rewind the tape and go back to where it all began. From Birmingham streets to global stages, UB40 wasn't born under palm trees or Caribbean skies. Surprisingly, this reggae powerhouse came out of Birmingham, England, a gritty industrial city more known for metal factories than musical rhythm. The year was 1978, and unemployment was sky high. The punk movement was erupting with rage, and reggae was the underground language of unity and resistance. Enter a group of friends, most of them from working-class, multiracial backgrounds, many on the dole, British unemployment benefits. In fact, the name UB40 itself was taken directly from the Unemployment Benefit Form 40, a clever nod to their financial state and the system they were fighting against. The original lineup included Ali Campbell, lead vocals and rhythm guitar; Robin Campbell, lead guitar and vocals Brian Travers; saxophone Earl Falconer; bass Jimmy Brown; drums Norman Hassan; percussion Michael Virtue; keyboards Astro Terrence Wilson; trumpet and vocals. From the start, UB40's identity was deeply political. These were kids who'd grown up around immigration, racism, and economic hardship. But instead of shouting about it, they sang. And they did it through reggae, a genre rooted in struggle, storytelling, and soul. The rise of an unlikely reggae powerhouse, UB40's breakthrough, came in 1980 with their debut album, Signing Off. It wasn't just a hit, it was a statement. The cover was a replica of their actual unemployment form, and the music inside blended reggae with social commentary. Tracks like Food for Thought and King weren't just catchy, they were conscious, and the world took notice. By the mid-80s, UB40 was a household name, not just in the UK, but across Europe and the US. But it was their 1983 cover of Neil Diamond's Red Red Wine that truly put them on the map. The laid-back groove, Ali's smooth vocals, and Astro's toasting, a kind of reggae rapping, gave it a whole new flavor. Ironically, the song hit #1 in the US 5 years later, in 1988, after it was re-released. What followed was a string of massive hits. Can't Help Falling in Love, yes, the Elvis one; Cherry O Baby, I Got You Babe, with Chrissie Hynde, and Kingston Town. They sold over 70 million records worldwide. Not bad for a group of unemployed kids from Birmingham, right? Reggae, but make it British, UB40 didn't just play reggae, they redefined it. Purists might argue that real reggae comes only from Jamaica. And sure, the Wailers and Peter Tosh had a different sound. But UB40's genius was in making reggae global. They infused the genre with British working-class identity, pop sensibilities, and a multicultural lineup that mirrored modern Britain. Their reggae wasn't about mimicking, it was about translating. Plus, they were DIY to the core. UB40 built their own studio, DEP International, wrote their own songs, and managed themselves. That independence, though, would later come with its own set of problems. The lifestyle, touring, brotherhood, and staying grounded. Despite global fame, UB40 never seemed to lose their footing. Unlike the wild rock and roll cliches, drugs, limos, and tabloid scandals, UB40 kept it pretty chill. They toured relentlessly, often spending months on the road. Their stage setup was massive, with horns, keyboards, and backup singers. But behind the scenes, it wasn't all glamour. Band members often talked about the exhaustion, the pressure, and the constant demand to stay relevant in a changing music industry. And then there was the brotherhood, literally and figuratively. The band had a strong bond, especially between the Campbell brothers, Ali and Robin. But as we'll see, even brotherhood has its breaking point. Cracks in the unity. Controversy and conflict things started to unravel in the mid-2000s. In 2008, lead singer Ali Campbell abruptly left UB40. Fans were shocked. The official story was that he wanted to focus on his solo career. But behind the scenes, things were messier. Ali claimed that the band's business affairs were mismanaged and that he'd lost faith in their direction. Others said he left for more money and personal control. Shortly after, keyboardist Mickey Virtue also left, citing similar reasons. And in 2013, Astro joined Ali to form a breakaway group called UB40 featuring Ali, Astro, and Mickey. Wait, what? Yup. Now there were two UB40's. The original band continued with Robin Campbell, Ali's brother, as frontman, and the other group went on tour as UB40 featuring, leading to legal battles, fan confusion, and a full-blown identity war. The bitterness was real. The Campbell brothers stopped speaking. Interviews were tense. Ali accused the remaining members of ruining the legacy. Robin fired back, calling the other version a tribute act. Fans were caught in the middle, and then came the debt. In 2011, reports surfaced that 5 original members of UB40 had been declared bankrupt, including Robin Campbell and Brian Travers. The reason? Bad investments, financial mismanagement, and the collapse of their label, DEP International. For a band that had sold millions, it was a stunning fall. Loss in reflection, the passing of Brian Travers and Astro. In 2021, the band suffered a heavy blow. Brian Travers, UB40's founding saxophonist and creative heartbeat, passed away after a battle with cancer. His death was mourned by both factions of the band and fans worldwide. Just a few months later, in 2021, Astro, a charismatic voice of the band and a fan favorite, also passed away after a short illness. The reggae world was rocked. These were not just musicians, they were cultural voices, friends, and pioneers. So, where are they now? Well, it depends on which UB40 you're asking about. UB40 with Robin Campbell. This is the original band, minus Ali and Astro. They've continued touring and recording. In 2021, they brought in Matt Doyle as their new lead singer, a fresh voice who grew up idolizing the band. The vibe is modern, but the heart is still UB40. They're keeping the legacy alive through live shows, new releases, and international appearances. UB40, featuring Ali Campbell. After Astro's death, the Ali, Astro, and Mickey group became just UB40 featuring Ali Campbell. They've performed in major festivals, done tribute tours for Astro and Brian, and continue to release music. Ali's voice still carries that unique, mellow tone fans adore. And guess what? Both bands still draw massive crowds, proof that the UB40 magic never really went away. The legacy, more than just Red Red Wine, UB40's legacy goes way beyond their chart-topping covers. They helped bring reggae into the global mainstream created music that spoke to real-world issues, racism, unemployment, injustice, showed that reggae could be a tool of unity even outside Jamaica, proved that working-class, multicultural Britain could produce global icons. They didn't just play music, they lived it, fought over it, and sometimes were broken by it. But even with all the controversy, breakups, and pain, UB40's music remains timeless. Their songs are still played at weddings, beach bars, family BBQs, and in moments of both celebration and reflection. The story of UB40 isn't just about reggae. It's about resilience, rebellion, and reinvention. It's about what happens when ordinary kids refuse to accept their circumstances and use art to rise above them. It's about brotherhood, both in harmony and in conflict. And it's a reminder that music can come from the most unexpected places and change the world in quiet, powerful ways. So next time you hear Red Red Wine or I Can't Help Falling in Love with You, listen closely. Underneath the melody is a story, a Birmingham reggae story that still matters.